Hello there, Simon Trades here, or some people like to call me Simon Trades, and I'm at Warrington Bank Quay railway station. Now, the first part of this vlog is actually chasing a steam locomotive. So we're going to be chasing this steam locomotive at the following two stations. So the first one is Warrington Bank Quay, Lancaster, Newton-le-Willows, and the last station of the day, Hunts Cross, which is currently where we're at now in the lovely sun. Now, the two stations I've got planned to get the Royal Scot through are Warrington Bank Quay for Lancaster. After that, we'll just go back to Warrington so we can just kill some time by doing two more stations. Newton-le-Willows is just somewhere to go to so I can change to get to Liverpool, and Hunts Cross, well, what I've heard today is that the Grim Reaper wants the Mersey units now. So we're going to try and get some Mersey Class 507, Class 508s filmed here before they disappear forever, and see what else comes through. So our journey will be starting after the intro gets rolled, walking to Rugeley Trent Valley at a ridiculous time in the morning. Hello, my name is Simon, and I'm a rail enthusiast for the town of Rugeley in Staffordshire. And I also use the railway to travel around the country. These are my journeys across the United Kingdom by the Iron Rails, which sometimes can go successful or end up in a disaster. The block now approaching this YouTube channel is the next Simon Trades railway journey, and I welcome you to this service. So please sit back and enjoy the adventure. About 20 past 6 in the morning, and I do apologise about the shakiness of the camera. I'm just walking currently, and I'm actually walking to Rugeley Trent Valley railway station because there's no train off Rugeley Town that gets me in Rugeley Trent Valley, so I can get the 6:48 to Crewe, and then I've got some time at Crewe to kill before I get the 7:57 Avanti West Coast service to Warrington Bank Quay. We do anything to try and chase steam locomotives, to be honest. But it does remind you though of lockdown, where it was absolutely quiet and I did the walking journeys. This. But anyway, I'll meet you at Rugeley Trent Valley station. So I made it to Rugeley Trent Valley railway station, and to be honest, there's absolutely nobody here apart from one person and myself, so two people here. It is that quiet, it's unbelievable. The good thing is on the weekend though is because I'm actually on my Coast & Peaks Rover ticket that I've got still, and on the weekend this is valid for the first train available. During the weekday though there is limitations on the ticket. It's not available till I think after either 8:45 or 9 o'clock in the morning. That's why I've been catching the 0924. It's the first northbound train I could catch with the ticket. But we are catching the first northbound train to Crewe, even though this is the third train of the day, because there has been a train at 6:02 going to Birmingham International, and there has been a 6:09 going to London Euston. So this is the 6:48 going to Crewe. It is really 2 minutes late, but it doesn't affect me too much because my train off Crewe, which I've got to get in touch with Avanti West Coast asking for a booked seat on it, is 7:56 I think, which will take me to the first station, Warrington Bank Quay. So it is still early in the morning, but to be honest though, I actually do miss these early get-ups. Even though it is my birthday today as well, it is my birthday. So I thought I'd treat myself chasing a steam locomotive at Warrington Bank Quay to Lancaster. Anyway, the 6:48 should be due now. just been out of Crewe station for a minute because I haven't made it to Crewe. But I've been popped over to McDonalds to get some breakfast. And this is my first McDonalds since, I think, the 18th of March. Anyway, Crewe station is just here now, but this is only the entrance only. What I showed you before was the Western Road, which is the exit. So go back into Crewe station now to get the 0756 to Warrington Bank Quay. On the left side of the screen is the steam locomotive we're getting at Warrington Bank Quay of Lancaster today. This is the LMS Royal Scot class, 46100 Royal Scot. Even though it's not actually the original Royal Scot, but I won't get into too much detail on that. But yes, it's going to be nice to see this at Warrington Bank Quay at speed, and then we're going to see it at Lancaster at speed. Now, this is the first steam locomotive I'm going to catch on the main line, because the last time I caught a steam locomotive off the main line was in February when the Flying Scotsman went down. I think it was the 11th of February. But because of the current situation that happened, steam charters have been cancelled for a while, so it's nice to finally get a steam locomotive on the main line again. So this is our first station we're visiting today, Warrington Bank Quay. Now this is an Avanti West Coast station with 4 platforms. It does have 2 bay platforms as well, but they're mainly used for diesel locomotives being stabled here. Now we're going to be here for about just after 8 o'clock till 9:09, because 10 minutes before my train to Lancaster arrives, the Royal Scot will fly through here. And we're going to get on platform 2. There's nothing in the way. There's just an Avanti West Coast service to London Euston, which will be arriving soon. A Northern Railway service to Leeds, and then the steam locomotive, so there's nothing. After that, like I said, I'm going to get the 0909 to Lancaster. Now, my Rover ticket does not valid north of Wigan, so I do have a return ticket to Lancaster and back to Warrington. And then at Lancaster, we're going to get the Royal Scot, fly through there again. So our Avanti West Coast Pedino is just arriving now, so we're going to film that out and then film some more trains. Now, this is the brief station history of Warrington Bank Quay Station. It was opened on the 16th of November 1868 by the London Northwestern Raiwlay. Now, the station's best known landmark, which you can see in this clip, is that huge unlevered detergent manufacturing plant which overlooks the site. The station had 2 low-level platforms that opened on the same day as the station, but the low-level platform was closed on the 9th of September 1963. So we're just going to film a couple more trains, including the Royal Scot, before we carry on our journey. So we're now waiting for the Royal Scot to fly through, and I'm tracking it on open time trains, and literally, I don't know if you can just see it, but he's at Acton Grange Junction now.
This is a security message. If you see something,
and there's nothing to come down on platform 2, so it's going to be a good clear shot of the Royal Scot coming through, which should be here in a second. Now that honestly felt epic, the Royal Scot flying through here. And that's the first locomotive built on the main line since the 11th of February, which was the Flying Scotsman at Rugeley Trent Valley. Now my next train will be the 0909. Now this is going to take me to Lancaster, but before we get to Wigan Northwestern we should overtake that steam locomotive. So there's another chance of getting at Lancaster flying through on the fast line, or it goes on to platform 3. Whichever way, we will get in Lancaster again. But like I said, the Coastal Peaks Rover ticket does not valid me beyond Wigan, so I had to book an advance single to get to Lancaster, which cost me about £4.95 with a disabled rail card. So that train should be arriving now to take me to my next destination.
all going on. And he's spraying his cloth. That's it.
This is the second location of visiting and the last time I'm going to be seeing the Royal Scot today, Lancaster Station. Now we did take over the Royal Scot just before Wigan Northwestern as planned. So we got here just before 10 o'clock, but we'll leave it here about 20 to 12. So head back down to Warrington Bank Quay. But we did get some stuff at the moment. We've still got a couple of freight trade. I think 1 or 2 freight trades to come through. There's definitely the Daventry Moss End Tesco Express to come through. I think that's about less than 10 minutes. The Royal Scot has left Preston, so it is on its way up, but it's looped at the moment. And yeah, it is a lovely station here. The last time I was in Lancaster was back in November, because I stayed overnight in Morecambe. But anyway, here's the history of Lancaster Station, and we'll film some more trains passing through. Now, before we get the freight train, which is a Class 88 electric locomotive, and the Royal Scot through here, we're just going to do the station's history. Now, Lancaster was opened on the 22nd of September 1846 by the Lancaster and Carlisle Railway, but the station at the time was named Lancaster Castle. The station was remodelled between 1900 to 1906 with additional platforms, and in 1908 platforms 5 and 6 were electrified to serve the Midlands Railway route to Morecambe and Heysham. That line closed in 1966, and the station was rationalised in 1973. The tracks through platform 6 were removed. So as I mentioned, we're going to get this freight train that's passing through, which is Daventry to Moss End, sorry, and then we're going to get the Royal Scot flying through. Now that Super Voyager, that's just coming for Avanti West Coast, that's 221143. Now that is only goes as far as Preston, which starts at Edinburgh. Now when that gets to Preston, the Preston to London Euston by Birmingham train, because it actually should be in Edinburgh to London Euston by Birmingham, but they split that up at the moment. So when that gets to Preston, the Preston to London Euston train actually departs when that arrives. And it's does all because of the current situation. Now, I don't know about you, but this station building is absolutely wonderful. It looks like a castle as well, but the actual castle is a bit further up there, up the hill. Now, we did get a 397 just leaving. Now, I did have plans to ride a 397. Back in May, I was planning to go to Lockerbie on it, but with the current situation, I had to cancel that trip. But our next train now will be the 11:39. It's only a few minutes late, not to worry though. But it's going to be the 11:39 Avanti service to London Euston, but I'll go back to Warrington Bank Quay on it. Should be arriving now. We're now back at Warrington Bank Quay. Now back on the Coast and Peaks Rover Ticket, because this is the area you can use it. Now I'm going to go to Newton-le-Willows next station to do some filming there, but I won't have a full hour there. I think I only have for like 50 odd minutes, but the train is about 2 minutes late at the moment, 12:46 to Leeds, which is due at 12:48. So we're going to do some filming at Newton-le-Willows, then let's go straight to Liverpool Line Street for Newton-le-Willows. I'm now at my third station, Newton-le-Willows. Now, even though the station was built 15 years after the line opened, because this line is part of the original Liverpool to Manchester Railway, which opened in 1830. The station opened like 15, 16 years later, but I'll explain that in the station history shortly. We're not going to have a 4 hour here, but with the time I came off the Leeds train and leaving on a train towards Liverpool Line Street, the Liverpool Line Street train that I'm leaving on is roughly the last train before the next Leeds train gets here. So we've roughly seen all the traffic in the hour we've seen, but have been here for a 4 hour. The only thing we're missing is probably a service to Scarborough. But anyway, so we're going to be doing the history of Newton-le-Willows railway station and then film a couple more trains before we leave for Liverpool. This is the station history of Newton-le-Willows station. The station was built in 1845, was opened by the London Northwestern Raiwlay, but when it was opened it was named Newton Bridge. It was renamed to Newton-le-Willows on the 14th of June 1888. So our next train now is the 1346 to Liverpool Line Street, and then once we get to Liverpool Line Street we're going to be travelling on Mersey Rail to get to Hunts Cross. Also I'd like to mention, about a mile or two that way was the first railway accident when William Huskinson, the MP for Liverpool, got run over by a rocket. Well, his leg got run over by a rocket and he died later on. But yeah, it's just about a mile roughly that direction. It's very close to this station. There is actually a memorial down the bottom as well. It's a little bit further. I think it's just after Parkside Junction. But anyway, so our Northern 323 should be arriving now to Liverpool Line Street. Correction, might be a Northern Class 319, not a 323, because it is 4 coaches. Now made it to Liverpool Line Street and came off this Class 319 EMU. Now I'm going onto the Mersey Rail platforms to get to Hunts Cross, but I've got to change at Liverpool Central Station to do it. We're now at Hunts Cross railway station. Now, if you remembered a couple of vlogs ago when we went to Warrington West, I actually came to Hunts Cross just to change trains. This time though, I am filming trains here. And it is quite sad indeed what I have heard today, but this will be old news when this video goes up, because two Mersey Rail Class 508 EMUs, 508-110 and 508-134, are now destined to go for scrap. They have been officially retired from the Mersey Rail network, which is strange really, because their new trains have not even entered service yet and they're scrapping two of them already. I don't know why. Also on my way down here, I met a nice boy called, I think his name was Oliver, with his dad and I think his sister as well. If I got that wrong, I do apologise. But had them for company down towards Liverpool South Parkway. Nice to have a chat with them. But as I mentioned, this is Hunts Cross Station. It did used to have 4 platforms. Now I don't know if you can see, but just make out the 4th platform there. It's like a bit of stonework there, but there is definitely a 4th platform there. But it has 3 platforms. This was the Merseyrail terminating platforms, because they did actually used to go further down towards Gatacre. I think that's how you say it, Gatacre. And then these two are your trains to Liverpool Light Street and Manchester Piccadilly. No, Manchester Oxford Road, sorry. They terminated at Manchester Oxford Road. Even though we did get, I think, a Manchester Airport service fly through here. But anyway, we are going to do the history of Hunts Cross Railway Station and carry on doing some filming. Now this is the station history for Hunts Cross Railway Station. It opened by the Cheshire's Committee in May 1874. And at the time it had 4 platforms. Services from Liverpool Central to Manchester Central, and services on the North Liverpool Extension Line to Gatacre, Aintree and Southport Lord Street, and North Liverpool Docks. Services were cut back to Gatacre until the line from Liverpool Central closed in 1972. However, in 1983, Merseyrail extended their 3rd rail line from Gaston, which is now Liverpool South Parkway. But this line looking towards Warrington has been kept open. So we're going to film some more trains now before we head back to Liverpool South Parkway. My time is now up at Hunts Cross. Now the original plan was to go back on the 1633 Northern service to Liverpool South Parkway to change trains, waiting for the 1718 back to Stafford. But when that train gets into Liverpool South Parkway about, I think it's 1639, the Mersey train, which will leave here at 1636, also gets into Liverpool South Parkway for 1639, so I might as well just get the Mersey back, get some more 507 or 508 haulage on the Mersey train, because I've still got the same time to kill whichever way I go back, but I think I might pop somewhere as well. So instead of going back on the Northern service as planned, I'm going to go back on the Mersey service to Liverpool South Parkway. So I'm now at Liverpool South Parkway. Now before I get my train to Stafford, because as I mentioned in a blog on the 3rd of August that I did, which was witnessing trains in the Halton area, the blog would have met G Loves Trains and Joel Hardy, is that I did a bit of history of Liverpool South Parkway Station. Now these platforms were open I think in 2006, but what I'm looking for is just beyond this bridge. Because just beyond that bridge there is the old Gaston platforms, a disused railway station basically. So I'm going to go on that bridge now to have a look down at that line. The bridge I wanted to catch the shot on was too high, so I couldn't do it. So I'm on Island Road instead. This is not too far from Liverpool South Parkway railway station. Now this is a railway bridge next to me, and I'm just going to poke the camera over because it's not high, but I can do it to show you what's behind this wall, which there isn't not much to be honest. So I'm just going to poke the camera over now. There we go. That is the site of Gaston railway station, which closed in 2006. This used to be a terminus platform before they extended to Hunts Cross, but used to get a train in from Liverpool Central to Manchester Central, and also on the North Liverpool Extension Railway towards Aintree, Southport Law Street and Gatacre. There's nothing left now, but that is the site of Glasgow Station. Because if I remember telling it in the blog that Liverpool South Parkway Station used to be two different railway stations, Allerton, which is the West Coast Main Line platforms, and just right there is Gaston Station. So I'll go back to Liverpool South Parkway now to catch my train back to Stafford. just right here is the bus interchange at Liverpool South Parkway. The Mersey platforms are on that side, and the West Coast Main Line platforms are literally on that side of Liverpool South Parkway. So I'll go back in now to catch my train. Made it back to Crewe, even though I said it was actually going to Stafford. McDonalds in Crewe is actually more closer than it is in Stafford, so I'm going to get something to eat and then go hop on this 1733 to Rugeley Trent Valley, which is basically the same train I was going to catch at Stafford anyway. But it would give me more time to have something to eat on the train with and back east from Crewe than Stafford, so I'm just going to try and get across that street now. It's just there. We're now on the 1833. Now this was the train I was going to catch at Stafford anyway, but it's easier to get it at Crewe instead of Stafford. We have plenty of time to go to Mackey's. As you can just see behind me here, you can just see a load of buses just there, because the Crewe to Chester line is shut for a week, so there's replacement buses on going to Chester, but Avanti West Coast is diverting some services. So I'm going to have this Mackey's now and then head back to Rugeley. Honestly, it looks like I'm the only one in this carriage. I'm not quite sure if I'm the only one in this train though. But this one that I caught, the 1833 on a Saturday, there is actually something quite interesting about this one. So I'll show you this side. The up slows on that side, and if I get onto this side here, the up and down faster on this side. This actually does use the slow line, because when I finish work at 6 o'clock on a Saturday, I catch the 1855, which is off Stafford, which is this train. And it always comes into platform 4 at Stafford on a Saturday. It's rarely sometimes 1, but mainly platform 4. So we're going to carry on to Rugeley Trent Valley on this train, and then get the 1920 Because during the week it's 1918, but on the Saturday it's 1920, back to Rugeley Town. We're now at Rugeley Town because we actually started our journey at Rugeley Trent Valley this morning, and you can tell the Simon Train Summer Staycation rail journey's ending because it's dull, miserable, and it was trying to rain. But anyway, let's summarise today up, because we started at 06:48 at Rugeley Trent Valley this morning. Now I do miss those ridiculous starts, to be honest, but got over to Crewe. And we saw the Royal Scot at Crewe, which was unexpected. I thought it would be hiding somewhere else, but nobody was sitting at Crewe between platform 11 and platform 12. Then I called the 07:56 Avanti West Coast service to Warrington Bank Quay, which did some filming at Warrington Bank Quay station, and we got the Royal Scot flying through Warrington, which was brilliant to see. I actually have been on the Royal Scot. Actually, there's a blog that I've done a couple of years ago when Sapos trains was first introduced onto the rail network as a charter and they slashed their fares from £90 to £45, and I thought, you know what, let's go for a ride on one. So that video with the Royal Scot going to Holyhead's probably going to be up there now, to be honest. So after Warrington, went up to Lancaster, no problems there, did some more filming. Got some Avanti West Coast Pendolinos, some Super Voyagers, some Northern Rail DMUs, some Transpennine Express Class 397s, and we got the Royal Scot flying through Lancaster as well, but they put it on platform 3 instead of going on the fast line, which is strange, but that's what it is. So after that, we went back down to Warrington so I could get a train to Newton-le-Willows, a northern service, which was a Class 195 ride. Did some film at Newton-le-Willows, didn't have the 4 hour there, but then I went over to Liverpool Line Street. Otherwise it would be waiting for another hour for a train to Liverpool Line Street. So instead of like having 45 minutes, it would be an hour and 45 minutes. Went over to Liverpool Central. As I mentioned in the blog, it was nice to meet Oliver, with his dad and I think his sister. Correct me if I'm wrong, to be honest guys, I know you're probably watching this, so hello to you. But yeah, so we bumped into Oliver, his dad and his sister, then went down to Hunts Cross. I did some filming there, and as I said, the Mersey rail units are starting to go, because what I saw this afternoon was there was a path from Birkenhead North, there, no, I think it's Birkenhead Depot, to Craven Arms, then Craven Arms to Newport, because 508 110 and 508 134 have been withdrawn. Apparently they clocked up so many miles while I had a chat with a driver, and instead of like giving them their maintenance, it's just easier to scrap them. That's why. And plus I've also heard that there's no room in Kirkdale Depot for the new units. So I don't know how true that is, but that's what I've heard, to be honest. And that's it. We went back to Liverpool South Parkway, saw the disused Glasgow Station, travelled back down to Crewe, travelled back down to Rugeley Trent Valley, then terminated here. So I don't know where the next blog will be. I might have an idea what I'm going to do next. But yes, the Simon Trades Summer Staycation Rail Journey has officially ended. This was part 6. So this blog has been terminated at Rugeley Town Railway Station. Thank you for travelling with Simon Trades, and we'll see you for the next adventure, wherever that will be. In fact, I'm actually going to walk this way and leave you.